Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Proper Football, the podcast. I'm just noticing that there's 0 viewers on at the minute, but hey, I guess we carry on. I hope there's nothing wrong there. Let's just double check. No, we're back on. No, that's fine. Yeah, so welcome to the podcast, Proper Football. This is a show where we bring up some topics and talk about them, and you guys can get involved as well. I'll tell you a bit more about that as we go on, but let's just introduce you to who we got on the show today. Obviously, my compatriot there, Nigel, on how are you, Nigel?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I've had quite a busy week, really, DJing and getting up to other stuff. But yeah, it's been good.
Cool. And our first timer on today with us is Ian from Charnock Richards Football Club. More than just a service station, as we found out. Those of you that frequent the M6 will absolutely know where Charnock Richards is, because it's a service station as well. There you go. We've said it. It's a service station. So Charnock Richards is a service station as well. But we're going to be coming on a little bit more about Charnock Richards with Ian a little bit later on as we go through the show. Just to say, folks, you can get involved and join in the discussions, or you want to chuck over something for us to talk about, then just jot a little comment on whatever platform you are watching on. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can get this shared quickly onto the public page. There we are. Okay. Maybe not. Anyway, let's crack on. Right, okay, Nige. Let's get this out of the way. Obviously, big Manchester derby today. Tell us a little. I haven't been watching it. I've been doing DIY. You've watched the game today. Just give us a little bit of an insight into what's happened there, then.
Yeah, it was a good game of football, but I mean, Rashford's hit a cracker to put Man United 1-0 in front, and then it sort of became the Phil Foden show after that. You know, he was outstanding.
Really?
Got back in the game, a few goals. Then Haaland's probably missed the sitter of the season. Managed to put the ball over the bar from about 4 yards out. Yeah, City well on top at the end. And they're right up there. I think it's going to go right to the wire this year.
Yeah. I mean, Ian, I'll come on to you in a second for your thoughts on it. I mean, Liverpool, like you say, I mean, they've won the League Cup last week, didn't they? They're in the FA Cup against Man United in the quarterfinals. It has been an FA Cup week, so we'll touch on some of that as well, and the controversy at Forest Liverpool match. But yeah,
some great quarterfinals coming up, isn't there? The FA Cup, the quarterfinals, they're mouthwatering advertised. So I'm looking forward to them.
You're still firmly set on Man City to win the league, aren't you?
Yeah, I still think they'll do it. I'm not, you know, it's like I said, I think it's going to go right to the end. But I'm a City fan anyway, so I'm bound to think that. But it will be there. It will be Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. I don't think anybody else is going to get involved.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. So, well, it's definitely quite interesting what's going to happen. Ian, what are your thoughts on the top of the table of the Premier League? Liverpool, Man City, what are your thoughts on it?
Considering I used to be a Liverpool fan, don't let it be said, but now I'm a Burnley fan. So my interest is more at the bottom of the table. And to be honest, today, losing that game against Bournemouth, I think that's probably it for Burnley. Liverpool, I think, looking good, but it's all down to two, I think. I think it's down to Liverpool and City to fight it out between themselves now. Unless Arsenal can keep that run going, they've got a few games. They've got one game in hand, haven't they? And 4 points of difference. But the Premier League is the Premier League. I'm more focused on the non-league side, as you know. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
No, yeah, we will definitely be talking about that shortly. I just want to touch on the FA Cup whilst it was FA Cup week. I mean, I never see this, but I've seen a little bit about the controversy at the end of the Forest game. Absolute chaos on the pitch as the game ended. Forest very, very upset about certain things that have gone on there. Dad, do a shout now. Go on, mate. Look, Abby, do a shout.
How many red cards did he dish out after the game?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it was just like that, wasn't it? It was like card.
Even the chairman was on the pitch, weren't he? I think the Forest chairman was on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because I was saying afterwards, what was the chairman doing on the pitch after the game? And I think was it because they scored in a minute after they should have played? But the other point I was talking about was when the play was stopped, the ball should have been given back to the Forest players.
Right, I've seen that. Yeah,
and that didn't happen, and they went because of that. That's killed the pressure that Forest were putting on them, and it's allowed them to go down the other end and score.
Right. Okay. I mean, I didn't watch the game. I was working, but if they held up the board for 8 minutes extra time, and Liverpool scored in the 9th minute, I think again that's what they were sort of saying. They scored in the 9th minute of extra time, but it was only 8 minutes. Well, I don't know. It was all over the shop, wasn't it? So, do you think Forest's upset at the end of the game was warranted? Because was there not a dodgy penalty decision not given as well, or?
I don't know. I didn't see the whole game. I just caught the highlights of it, but. You're going to be gutted if you lose in the last. Well, it's virtually the last kick of the game, isn't it? So when you've held out that long, and like I said, Forest did have a little bit of pressure, but as soon as the refs sort of stopped the game and killed the game, killed them off as well.
Yeah. Ian, what are your thoughts on the FA Cup last week, and did you see what happened at the Forest game Monday? Did you?
I'll have to admit, I didn't watch any of the games in the FA Cup. Our FA Cup starts in August and it probably ends in September.
Yeah.
So we.
There's your honesty. Well done.
Yeah. Even as a Burnley fan, it probably ends in November, January time. So.
Forest. Right. Let's just have a look at who's been jumping on and joining in here. So Abby, that's your So
that's
Abby,
the daughter who's watching. Yeah.
How are you, Abby? And stop drinking the beer, Dad. Yeah. Hello to Ian Els. He's on there. Who else we got on? Let's see. Stephen's on as normal. How are you doing, Stephen? Damo, being a Derby fan, Forest are going down, aren't they? Well, I don't know. I think there's some poorer sides than Forest down in the bottom there, but we'll see, I guess. But they are running it tight. I think it was all going to depend on Luton, that one. How Luton do, I think, who I hate to say have done quite well, haven't they, Nige?
Yeah, they're battling away, aren't they? They're scoring goals against the top teams as well. So, I wouldn't rule them out staying up. I thought they were certain to go down at the start of the season, but they're not doing bad, as pains me to say. I think Burnley are definitely down, like Ian said. Sheffield United will be going down as well. And there's anyone from 3 after that, then, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know, I'll be honest, I've said this way back when we started these shows, that I believe that, and I think I said it last week, and I'm seeing it more and more. I do think Luton will struggle to stay up. I really do. But, and I'm not wishing that being a Watford fan, but just I do. But I really do now think that the Premier League is heading to that point of a complete elite league. I think there's still a little bit of shuffling around to do there, but I do think the 3 that go up will just come down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and it will become an elite league, which is boring. And I just it's a shame.
You've got Luton on. They played 26 games and they're 4 points behind Forest. So if they won the game in hand, you got Luton on 23, Forest on 24, Everton on 26, and Brentford 25, and Brentford on 26.
Yeah.
So you've got you've got 4 teams that are within 1 win of each other.
Yeah.
So that's how close it is.
Yeah, no, that's it. Stephen's saying there, Gary, I was watching Leeds United game in the FA Cup. Leeds United did well, but they lost to Chelsea, so I don't know if that was well or not. I mean, they might have played well. I suppose they championship side at Chelsea. Fair enough. Shout out to James as well. So hello, James.
Hi, James. Get to
right,
bed.
Okay. Let's just go into that, because the other thing I wanted to chuck on the table, Leicester City, you know, they've lost at home to QPR yesterday. Big shock. That's their 3rd loss in a row. I think we mentioned about the fans booing them the other day, which I thought was a bit naughty. But at the end of the day, they really are. The wheels are coming off Leicester City here, aren't they? Or is it just a short glitch? But Ipswich definitely catching them up, aren't they? Ian, what do you think?
Every team has its blip, doesn't it? I think Leicester are having theirs. They've lost the last 3 in a row. I still think they're good value to go up, though. You know, they're a side that have obviously got a lot of backing behind them. You know, what they're pulling in now, still 20,000 people in the ground. So
I think they fill it almost, don't they? Yeah.
So
I think with this sudden glitch that they're having, the question now is, I think they would. It was odds on that. I think they would go up as champions, but I'm not sure now. It's going to be.
Well, you've got to break away 4, and you've got to break away 4. You've got Leicester on 78, Ipswich 75, Leeds 73, Southampton 70, and then the 5th place, West Brom, they're 11 points behind Southampton.
Yeah.
You've got to break away 4 now. You know.
I think they are good value to go up. It's whether they go up as champions or not, Leicester. Without it's not a great time to have a glitch, is it? You know. But,
I've still got a funny feeling Leeds are going to end up in the 2nd place.
Leeds.
They're starting to hit a bit. Well, they've hit form lately, aren't they?
I mean, that's a massive shock. QPR winning up there at Leicester, massive shock. You know, just another shock result. Sorry.
Sort of averages. I've said this before about Graham Taylor with stats and all that lot. He said sometimes if a team's won 10 games in a row, that's the best time to play them the next game, because law of averages say they've got to slip up sometime. So whether it's to QBR, whether it's to someone else, law of averages say out of 20 games, you probably have got to lose 1 game and draw a game. That's how the law of averages work out.
Yeah.
So maybe this was like the one where QBR go there, nobody expects them to win, but they get the result.
They do, and look, hats off to QPR. Well done. You know what I mean? It's a great result for QPR. You know, and they've hit a little bit of form when they needed it as well. But yeah, another massive shock, just taking us down into non-league, was Chesterfield runaway leaders at the minute down there, getting a right thumping down at Dorking Wanderers, 4-1. I mean, that's a big shock as well, isn't it? You'd have put money on Chesterfield there, so a couple of big shocks there. Look, let's turn our attention to the non-league, and basically Ian. So Ian, you are, now correct me if I'm wrong, you are the program editor and the social media person for Charnock Richards FC.
Yeah, Charnock Richard, get it right. No S. I'll tell you later. Yeah, Charnock Richard. More than a service station.
Again?
So it's Cliff Richard's brother.
Charnock.
Yeah, Cliff's brother, Charnock.
Charnock. I thought I said Charnock Richards. Okay. So, so step 9, is it?
We are, yeah. We're in the 5th tier. We're in the Northwest Counties Premier Division. We're mid-table at the moment. We've just gone up to 11th after today's game. And
today's game was a massive win for you, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. We beat bottom of the table, Skelmersdale United 7-1. Now, you might think that playing on a Sunday afternoon is a bit different. It really was, because this weekend was the ground-off weekend.
Yeah, and I'd just like you to explain what you've done there, because you had a terrific crowd in, which was predominantly made up of ground doctors from all over the country. Just give us an idea of what that was all about.
Right, so there's a guy called Chris Berazai. I'm not too sure if I've pronounced his name right, but he might be watching. Chris Berazai is the organizer of Groundhop UK. So every year they come to our league to take in 7 games. I think they do Wales and Scotland.
We're just getting a bit of feedback from you there, Ian. I don't know whether...
It won't be me. I've got my headphones on.
Yeah, I don't know. One of us is getting feedback, isn't it? Right, let me turn me off and see whether that helps. Carry on, mate. Carry on.
Yeah, he does ground ops in Scotland. I think he does one in the south of England, Wales, and then they come to the North West Counties League in March. And now they were here Friday evening. A coach comes up from the south, picks up along the way. Comes up. They were at FC St Helens on Friday. Sorry, my daughter's in the way. Go away. Yeah, okay.
What's she got on her mush?
Yeah, she's just had a shower.
I thought she...
Throw me off the. So they had, unfortunately, there were 2 postponements yesterday at Squires Gate in Blackpool and AFC Blackpool, which were teams like next to each other. The pitches weren't that great. The referees called them off, so they had only 2 games yesterday. But today they have both games on. Exton Villa, which is just outside Chorley where I live, and then Charnock, which is again just outside Chorley. And we had 600 on at Exton and 530 on at Charnock.
So you had a crowd stay of 530.
Yeah.
And that was obviously bolstered by your ground up day, yeah?
Absolutely. 400 plus on the attendance usually. We only get about 130 on average every game, but it really helps the coffers. It helps. We flogged everything today. Flogged all the programs. We sold everything in the food up. And it was just amazing. A good day, and we won 7-1. So,
Ian, you're on. Is it level 9, 9th level of the leagues?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So obviously, that low down the link. Do you actually pay wages to your players? At that level?
We do. Yeah, we do. It's not very much. I'm sure a few might be watching, but I think it's about 20-30 quid a game. There might be some on board,
that's amazing though, because again, back in my day, you playing football at that level, there's no way you get paid for it. And now it just seems to be right the way through every single level of football, really, doesn't it?
Well, put it this way: the referee gets paid more than the players.
Yeah. Right.
He gets 45.
I'm still saying though, it's quite a long way. I mean, I played for Berkhamsted Town for a little bit, and they said, all we can afford to give you is 50 quid. But you'd have a laugh with us, right. and some of my mates were playing for them, so I'd done that. But they were in sort of like the league below the conference, something like that. So sort of your nine leagues below the football league. I mean, that's surprising, that is. That's just the way we've always said, me and Gary and the others that have been on it, that football's just become a money game now. There's money involved at every level. Even the girls levels, at the top level, the girls are getting paid money now at these certain football teams. And
mate, some of the women players are getting 300 grand a week, mate, a year, 300 grand a year. Some of them Chelsea players.
Yeah, but I'm on about some of the girls that are playing at a lower league, like girls' football, but they're still demanding stupid money. I mean, Greg will tell you that, but Ricky. But just shows how the money's just gone right away through the whole level of football, from the top level right away down to grassroots. People are wanting money for playing football.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, we're on the same book, me and you, Nigel, on this. I mean, there are people in tier 5 and 6 getting £600 a week.
Yeah,
Non-league
I mean,
football.
I think he should be earning the right to earn that money, and I don't think. I think a great percentage of footballers that are getting paid decent money aren't worth it, and that's even from the top level down to semi-pro level.
Here's one. Congleton Town was in our division last season, and they had a player, Tom Pope, who you might remember used to be at Port Vale, scored at Man City in the FA Cup. He was reported to be on £300 a week. That's our wage bill for a week.
Yeah. No, listen. We've got some insight into player wages, and I know
that's reportedly not.
You as a club could not afford to go up. No disrespect, Charnock Richards could not afford to go up and compete with clubs above you.
We wouldn't be able to
because the wage jump will scare the life out of you.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I was talking to a tier 8 finance manager, a tier 5 finance manager, and he said that they lost a player to a lower league side, so tier 6, and they were paying him like £400 a week. Oh no, sorry, I think £500 or £600 a week. Carol, hello, Carol. Good evening. Basically saying money has killed the game, and it has. Money has killed the game, but we blame the FA. They don't control it. That we blame the authorities. They don't control it. You blame the clubs for doing what they've done, but I blame the players as well, because it's the players that have driven the wages up and up and up. And as Nigel rightly said, people even at non-league level expect to earn a week's money that people have to graft 40, 50 hours for, and they expect to earn a week's money for a couple of evenings a week training and a game on a Saturday.
So,
there's
our players.
I was going to say, it's definitely players. There's definitely clubs. I mean, I told you when I played for Stafford Rangers, and we had a chart. We was up the top of the league, and I said to the chairman, we could go up this year. We're playing well. We went, oh no, we can't afford to go up. So basically, what am I doing at Stafford Rangers then if they've got no ambition of going up? Because whatever level of football I played at, I've always wanted to win and progress to the next level. So if I was in the second division, I want to be in the first division, vice versa. So it goes all the way up. But when you've got a club chairman telling you that they don't want to go anywhere, they want to stick where they are because they can't afford to go up. So now, you're finding the clubs that are going up and ones that have got money backing. People backing them with big money.
Definitely, it's about money.
Leads me on to. I just wanted to touch on. Oh, hang on. I just wanted to touch on a subject which I wanted to bring up, which last week, but we didn't have time. The 3 and 4G pitches in non-league football. So. There are quite a few clubs, I believe, are looking to install. There's a lot of clubs have got them installed. Now, love them or hate them, 3G pitches are maybe the lifesaver of a lot of clubs in respect that, 1, they can rent it out and get revenue. 2, they don't get the cancellations, which you touched on when you were saying about the cancellations you've had this week. There are a lot of cancellations on grass pitches at non-league level this weekend, and that costs the clubs money, a lot of money. So, there is a massive benefit to having them. However, affording them is another matter. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I'll get on to both of you just to give your opinion on these pitches. But one of the things that's a big problem is the financing side of 3G and 4G pitches. So, nearly all of them are bought via grants. Obviously, every FA or council has a pot of money that they have to distribute into the game. That pot of money, and I'm not knocking now, please don't think, but you must understand that pot of money is for kids' football, women's football, and men's. So the pot of money is not what it maybe used to be, because a lot of money is being invested in women's and rightly so, kids football. Now here's the problem: a 3G pitch is going to cost you somewhere between 800,000 and £1 million. They're around that figure.
Yeah.
900k, say, just split it down the middle. So 900 grand. You need to buy a pitch. You can get a grant. They will only give you a grant of up to 70% of that value. You have to come up with 30% of that money. So realistically, if you want a 3G pitch and you're a club that desperately could do with it to stop your cancellations, to be able to get you some additional revenue, you've got to find £250,000 before you can even think about having one. So, it's only going to benefit the clubs who've got money or had money. If you're a club that ain't got a lot of money, you ain't getting one of them pitches, and they're the clubs that need them more than anything. Anyway, that's my take on it. What's your take on them pitches, Nigel? Did you ever play on AstroTurf?
I played on AstroTurf. Right in the early days, yeah. Luton had an AstroTurf and QPR.
QPR did, yeah.
It was awful. Listen, if you played a ball in front of somebody, it just run away with you. So you virtually had to play straight to the feet. If the keeper kicked the ball up in the air and it bounced on the surface, it'd go out 10 foot up in the air again.
How long ago was that?
Oh,
yeah. You probably weren't even born, I don't think.
81. Was that 81? 82? 82, was it? 82, 83?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been.
Something like that. But
I played on Kenilworth Road 3 times, because they used to rent it out, didn't they? So I played there 3 times, and that would have been late 80s. So it would have been even 1990. They probably still had their AstroTurf. I mean, look, the pitches now are totally different to AstroTurf. They're 100% better. They're 100% better. Well, they really are.
And you've got an international side. There's an international side that play on the AstroTurf, isn't there?
I thought it was Russia.
Which one?
Russia didn't they?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has come on a long way. I mean, there are also the synthetic material's really good now, So you say, but it's a cost. It's the cost of getting one of them in. Then obviously, you've got to look at getting your money back by renting the pitch out and trying to get other things happening on it. And like you say, for the non-league sides, if they haven't got the financial backing, they've got no chance. And that's why, like you say, Football League, the amount of money that's been projected from Sky TV into Premiership leagues, and there should be a donation from these players on top wages, which gets split up into that, to help the grassroots clubs and the smaller clubs.
We have, yeah. We've got the Football Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, this is the disparity between the two ends of the football. You've got one end where they cannot afford to get a pitch that's only going to benefit their club. They've got to find £250,000. They can't find £250,000. And you go at the other end, £250,000 for some players and even a week's wages. I don't know how we got where we are. But there's a couple of good points that have been raised there. Ian Hells, Kilmarnock have got an artificial pitch. The Ugly Sisters, Rangers and Celtic, moan about it, especially if they drop points. And then another point, and I hope I say this right, Monkey Z, I hope I pronounce that correctly. Harrogate had a 3G pitch up until a few years ago, before they got promoted into the EFL. Do you know what? That's really interesting. That really is interesting, because you got this pitch that's cost you £1 million. If you get promoted, you've got to have it ripped out.
Yeah.
All right, I suppose the benefits weigh themselves up, but yeah. Again,
it used to be the FA Cup. Don't forget, Gary, it used to be an FA Cup rule where you couldn't play on a plastic pitch.
Yeah.
In the 80s, in the early 80s.
Yeah, no,
and then Preston North End played surely on the plastic pitch. and they won.
Another thing about the plastic pitches back in my day, because they were pretty raw and they were just starting using them. And I tell you what, if you went down on them pitches, you got a friction burn.
Yeah, they were horrible. No, horrible.
I'll tell you what happened was managers actually used to change the teams because they knew there would be some players that wouldn't fancy it. They won't commit themselves into tackles. They won't commit themselves to certain balls. So they were changing the team selections basically based on the fact that they wanted to see who the players were that could handle it. And the week before we played, we'd always have a few practice matches on the artificial pitch. And Taylor, anybody, Arthur Cox, they'd be seeing who fancies it and who don't. And so they could change the whole team round just for that one game and then reshuffle it when they get back on grass, shall I say. So that was a big factor back in those days.
It's interesting. I'm going to break off a little bit here, chaps, and just head up north of the border. One, because we've had a question that I've had text to me now. And also, it's been quite an interesting weekend up there because, Celtic and Rangers are neck and neck for that. And this week, on yesterday, obviously, Rangers lost at home to Motherwell, which was a big turn up, giving Celtic a great opportunity to jump in and reclaw that couple of points back. And they went and lost at Hearts 2-0 today. I ain't going to rub that in, by the way. Bernie, who's watching. Hello, Bernie. But yeah, the Hearts won 2-0. But listen, Bernie's posed a question to us. How do we feel about Celtic and Rangers joining the Premier League? Nigel, start with you.
Join the Championship. That's about the level of football they're at the moment. I don't think Rangers and Celtic are cutting in the Premier League. I think they'll be the bottom half. Seriously, I'm not saying this because I'm English, but Scottish Premier League's about League One or Championship standard. That's my opinion. Sorry, but that's the way I feel.
I mean, just on that point, then put it another way. So they come into the Premier League, and obviously then gain the money which they don't currently get in their league, and they get that money behind them. They are two very big clubs. There's no getting away from it. Once they got that money flowing into their clubs, do you think that if they were in the Premier League with that money, that they would become big players in the Premier League?
Yeah, possibly. But like I said, they've got great crowds, both of them, Rangers and Celtic, big crowds. And it's probably one of the biggest derbies in football, But like I said, they're not attracting the big players to the Scottish Premier League at the moment. So the players that are playing on there, the good ones, probably too good for the standard players in Scotland. But I sort of still think that if they were that good, the players that are playing for Rangers and Celtic, they would have been playing in England in the Premiership. So, yeah, you're probably right. If they got into the Premier League and they had a big financial backing where they could buy players, fair enough. But
you reckon you're running scared? Oh, dear.
He's running scared.
Celtic supporter, by the way.
I'm running scared.
Ian, what do you think on that? What do you think they could become big players if they were in the Premier League?
If they were in the Premier League, probably... like Callie says, he'd be fighting relegation probably. I mean, if you chuck them straight in from the beginning, I don't know. They'll probably just maybe mid-table.
Yeah,
and that's being kind.
Yeah,
They need to have the draw. Obviously, it's probably going to be impossible to be in the English league anyway because of the travelling and expense and everything. Because you're going to be going down to London every other week. So,
well, we got some points over for me, and obviously Ian, he's a Watford supporter who lives in Kilmarnock, and he has quite a bit to do with local football up there as well, actually. And he's saying a few of the local getting a bit emanated about the Rangers and Celtic results yesterday. Yeah, you know what? What a weird scenario that is. Celtic slipped up not being able to capitalise on Rangers losing at home to Motherwell, so some interesting results there, and it can only be good for Scottish football if they don't have that dominance. I like to see the dominance broken. Ian's put on here the only potential good thing about the Ugly Sisters. Did you get that, Bernie? The Ugly Sisters, he calls you. Being in the English League would be that they would have big away base and fill the away ends every week. Yeah, that's the point Bernie made to me when I was talking to him before, and he said, and we know that their away following is absolutely huge, but after a few years, I would suspect that they'll just become normal. Yeah, not impressed about fighting relegation. But anyway, Bernie, we've had that discussion. Thank you for the questions. That's brilliant. We'll be wrapping the show up shortly. I just want a couple of little things. The worrying thing we're talking about football, and I know we talk about this a lot, but I'm just Bernie reckons that they'd take over. Bernie, I shall see you again soon, and we'll chat about it.
Ask Bernie what he's drinking. Sorry, that was.
What's that? Sorry.
Ask Bernie what he's having to drink.
Yeah, Bernie, what you drinking? He'll have some of that, and all he said. Right, listen. I'm just. Where did I put it? I've lost it. Never mind. A lot of clubs head into administration. A lot of clubs. Rochdale, Torquay in trouble. Taunton have just got out of trouble. There's a whole long list. This is such a worrying thing, and I know we're just banging on about it all the time, but we're probably the only people that do talk about it enough. It needs talking about the state of football and these clubs. And I for the sake of repeating myself, and I apologise to everyone watching, I don't care whether you're Man City or whether you're Charnock Richards, right? You are the heart and soul of that community in one way or another. Not necessarily that they go and watch games, but that football club is the heart and soul of every community. And I just think the fact that we are still having to talk about clubs keep going under, going out. Nuneaton Borough, bless them, gone out of business. They were a big non-league club, big, reasonable fan base. The good news about that is the supporters have got together and they are now doing a ground share with Bedworth Town, which is just down the road from Nuneaton. So the fans are trying to bring it back, but they'll have to go down about 8 leagues, and this is the problem that they face. It's good to see Bury getting back, but again, they won't get back to where they were for 10 years. They'll lose a whole generation of fans. It's such a sad state of affairs. Just want to say big it up for Weymouth, who I think handed over about 1,800 tickets to Torquay for their game at Weymouth yesterday and donated £5 off the sale of every away ticket. I think they took about several hundred fans down with them, Torquay. I think they made, I don't know, about £3,500, £4,000. And that money's gone to their supporters trust so that they can try and save their club, Oh,
it probably will be the supporters trust that run the club if they do go.
Say again, mate. Sorry.
It probably will be the supporters trust that run the club if Torquay do go.
Yeah.
Bang. It's usually what happens. Bury are in our league, don't forget. They're at the top of the table at the moment. I think they've got 9 games left where we've got 18.
And then, that's a good point. Again, I know we've spoke about the pitches, but there was a lot of non-league clubs at the minute because we've had such torrential rain. How many games have you got to play between now and April?
18 by April the 20th.
Nigel, did you hear that?
What's that? 6 weeks?
I love that.
Let me just pull it up. Hang on a minute. I think
they learn their 30 quid.
They will every game. So we've got a game on Wednesday at home. We're at home again on Saturday. We're at home again on Monday. Home again on Wednesday against Isle of Man.
How do players? How taking players who have got jobs at your, they're working men. How can they provide the time to play that much football in that short of period? Surely it's going to interfere with their working lives.
They're just very, very committed. We've
That's
got
nice
a
to hear,
great
by
set
the way.
of lads, 20 lads who play the part every game. Whether you sat on the bench and doing nothing, or it's you playing the game, it's a group of 20 lads who will fight for the team. And we saw that today. We won 7-1. But it will be a strain. It will definitely be a strain on them. We've got a game nearly every other day, especially towards the end of the season. It's like 10 games in March and then 9 games in April. 8 games in April, I should say.
That Damo's saying Derby have got 10 games to play as well at that level.
Oh, my heart bleeds. 10 games in what? About till the end of May?
Damo's asked about VAR. Is VAR running football? You know what? That's one for our next show, Damo, so we'll pick that up.
That's the one. That VAR, we don't have that. Yeah, that's why more and more are turning to non-league.
Ian L, 7-1, a very memorable score from many years ago. What game's that? Sorry, mate. Barnsley v. I'm getting confused with what you're all saying. 7-1. Oh, he ain't talking about the Southampton game, is he? I don't know. Don't know what you're talking about. And Damo, Barnsley Bolton Tuesday. Is that a game you're going to, mate, or is that
the Southampton game? Yeah. Southampton in the cup.
You need to ask Gary. What do you need? I mean, 7-1. If it's about that one, bloody hell. And we beat Forest 4-1 the game after that as well, when Forest were top team. I quite often rip into Boatsy and that about that one. Wind a few Forest fans I know up. But anyway, we'll wrap the show now. Ian, it's been great having you on, and please come on again.
Yeah, I'll try to. Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, please come on again. And we must make the effort to get up and try and take a game in. I frequent your service station on a regular basis, so problem is it's in the middle of the night, but there we are.
Don't come to mine for a brew. It won't be open.
I just have to say, well done to Weymouth for what they did. Also, a magnificent crowd at Scunthorpe yesterday. National. I know they were a league side up until recently, but this is National League North, so the league below the National League. 7,500 against Chester.
Yeah, it was a big family day, wasn't it?
Yeah, big following from Chester, 1,400 bowler counts. Terrific, 7,500. Non-league football is very much alive with the fans, but it's just heartbreaking to keep having to talk about clubs going into administration, and something has to give. Something's got to change.
It's not going to change. Not unless it changes from the top. Guys, it has got to change, but it's not going to change. Not unless it starts changing from the top of the tree down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the only way. That's the only solution to it. Other than getting a millionaire coming in and money. Yeah.
The barn wages started at the top. So it has got. You're absolutely right. It's got to start at the top, but we can't week in, week out keep talking about clubs going into administration, struggling. It's not right. And we're not talking about Sunday League football clubs here. We're talking about Torquay United. You're talking Scunthorpe nearly going. Bury. These are clubs that are national, like from league status, these clubs, and struggling like mad. Something has to happen. Anyway, chaps, I'll leave the last words to you two and we'll call it a day. But Nigel, last thoughts from you.
Just looking forward to next week's matches. It's been a good weekend of football. So I've got to say, I don't know whether you saw the Birmingham Southampton match. What a game that was. Get a chance to have a look at the goals in there.
4-3, wasn't it?
4-3, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, great match. So
they're having a
that's
good
probably
season.
one of the highlights.
Southampton are having a good
Sorry?
season.
Well, they had a little blip, didn't they, where they lost about 3 games in a row, same as Leicester. So yeah, it's. But I say you've got the top 4.
Just to mention Birmingham City in that as well. Birmingham City seem to have found a bit. I know it's 4-3 yesterday, but they found a bit of form recently, and they sold their ground out for the first time in 10 years last week. First time in 10 years, a complete sellout against Sunderland, I think it was. Yeah, a complete sellout. So well done. Good luck to Birmingham. But yeah, last thoughts from you. Sorry, go on.
I say just so that they might not know that I'll be on Mixcloud later on.
Oh God, we've got to sort that out and get it up. Yeah, don't forget Nigel's Mixcloud, folks. Ian says, cheers, guys. Have a great week. We will definitely try. Keep an eye out on our pages for when our show's next up. Last thoughts from you, Ian.
Last thought, support non-league because we need the money. And if anybody's ever in Lancashire, come to Charnock Richard.
Not just a service station.
Not to the service, more than a service station.
More than a service station.
Come on a Saturday afternoon when we're playing, or a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday or a Monday, whatever.
Anyone in that area?
At the moment, to the end of the season, we're there probably every other day.
How much is it to get in your games?
£6.
£6. Wow.
£4 for a concession.
And food and all that.
Oh yes, and I tell you what, we've just opened. Hang on a minute. We've just opened a brand new canteen. I will show you a quick picture if I can of what it's like. There we go.
Oh yeah, that looks
brand new. Courtesy of, I think the Football Foundation has put nearly 50 grand to it. So money does come down from the Premier League eventually.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We've just opened that today.
It's like Gary's from room.
Why not? He'll feel at home then. He'll feel at home when he comes visiting us in the middle of the night on his
if you
truck
live
run.
in and around the area of Charnock Richards, check them out. Like you say, they need support, and you can't get a friendlier and more helpful football environment than that of non-league football. You really can't.
And if you see me, I'll bring you a brew.
Yeah, my table's starting to fall apart, so we're going to call it a day. Thanks everyone for getting involved. Just a quick mention there from Ian. Hope Tony Mowbray makes a quick recovery. Our thoughts go with Tony. I think I've got one last message just popped up from our Burnley. Remember? No, I ain't going to say that one. Oh, mate, very controversial. English football is shit. It could do with a shake-up. All you small clubs down there who have won nothing. He's a good lad, Bernie. He does love a wind-up and all. Bernie, I'll catch you next week on the ferry going to Ireland. Or the week after, should I say? And everyone, my table's falling apart. I'm holding my table up. And my legs popped up the fucking table. Sorry for swearing. Right, everyone. Have a lovely week, everyone. Have a safe week. Be good, and we'll catch you again very, very shortly. Let me just find the credits, and we're off. All the best. Stay on, Ian. Don't go away.